Welcome, Queen. If you find yourself repeating your standards in your relationships, at work, in dating, with family, you don't have a communication issue. You actually have an enforcement issue. Why? Because clarity without consequence is negotiation. So let's talk about how to stop repeating yourself in conversations so that your standards are seen as standards and not up for negotiation. Before we do that, let's get down to the pattern, the cycle that typically occurs as you find yourself having conversations. You say what you need, you explain why it matters, you try to stay calm, you give them chance after chance, and sometimes you may even soften your tone. All the while, you're hoping that this is the last time I have to repeat what I said the last time. And here's the deal. There's no there's no consequence attached to people not following through or not adhering to your standard. So what they learn through the pattern that you show them is that your standard is actually negotiable. But you don't want that. But that's what's happening. Today we shift that. Because the real problem is not your delivery. It is not your communication. It is what you do after you have a conversation and that standard that you shared with whoever it may have been is violated. And you know I do not come to offend. And still, I also do not pretend. On some level, subconsciously, in most instances, it's going to be subconscious. You're not going to be consciously aware of. But the issue is that you want to be understood more than you want to be respected. And I know that may sting a little, but here's what I need you to know. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be understood. But at the point you value being understood more than you value being respected, it causes issues with people seeing your standards as actual standards. And that's why you find yourself typically in this loop. And that's why I need you to know these three things about standards. Because standards require these three things: clarity, consistency, and consequence. Clarity, consistency, and consequence. And without the third one, which is consequence, the other two, clarity and consistency, your standards collapse. So, as you go to have conversations, I want you to be intentional about the way you share your standards. And so I'm going to give you two examples of what I mean when I say be intentional about how you use your words as you communicate, as you have conversations. One is going to be a professional example, and the other will be a personal example. So professionally, you may be working on a project and you may say in a conversation, I've already said that. Instead of saying that, to be more impactful, try, I've already addressed that. If this situation continues, I will no longer work on this project. Personally, you may be talking to a relative or maybe even your spouse, and you may say, I just need you to understand. Instead of saying, I just need you to understand, even though you really want them to understand. If what I shared does not work for you, then I simply will not continue. So we won't move forward. Because you don't build relational authority by constant repetition. You build relational authority by follow through. As always, I'm CE Sam telling you that 24 hours doesn't seem long, but in 24 hours, you can change your life. So go ahead and do something life changing.